right, next we're going to talk about Steve Kraft and NASA. Steve Kraft was working in the Strategic Relationships Office of NASA. About 5 years ago, he was noticing that there was something happening at NASA, which has all come to pass, which is that the money was about to dry up for the space shuttle program. NASA, up until that time in his office, he's in Virginia, was entirely funded for the space shuttle program. What he was realizing is that people were really not noticing that this change was coming down the pike, and there was all these super, super smart people around him, but they're getting a little lazy, as he said. He got an email one day, and the email said, "We would like to encourage companies and organizations around the country to host a TEDx event." Does anybody know what TED is, TEDx? Okay, everybody in the Bay Area knows this. I go to Chicago, they don't all know about this, so I could define it, but I'm not going to, since you're all brilliant. So he actually immediately replied and said, "I think NASA should host a TEDx event." He, in fact, ended up hosting the 3rd TEDx event in the United States with absolutely and utterly no support from his internal organization. Not only that, he did it in 8 weeks. And instead of attracting 150 people, which is what they thought he would attract, he attracted 1,500 people in the room, 76,000 people online. Now, I asked him point blank, how the heck did you do that? Because that program has now been scaled. They're offering TEDx programs in different cities, in different NASA centers across the country. And they're doing a TEDx youth program, and they're spinning off other programs, and it all started because one day he got that email. What he told me was it all came down to loyalty equity. Now, what is loyalty equity? I'd never heard of this term. Anybody ever heard of this term before? Loyalty equity is what happens when you've been in a place for a while and people trust you. People believed in him. People said, if Steve's doing this, I'm going to get on board. So the other thing that thought leaders do, everyone that I spoke to, they build trust around them. They build trust by being the kind of people who get done what they say they're going to get done. They actually have what I call the high say-do ratio. What do I mean by that? What you say and what you do actually have some correlation to one another. That counts. He'd been with the organization for quite a few years by this time, and so he would call up random people and he'd say, "I'm doing this." Nobody had ever heard of the TEDx event. Many of them had never heard of TED before. But they got on board, and within 8 weeks, he put this amazing event together. So what he taught me, and what I heard over and over again from others that I interviewed, is that we want those loyal people around us. We want to be able to tap that, but we also want to keep building it. And the way we build it is, of course, we don't just need it. We don't just take it when we need it. We actually build it with others. We actually say yes when other people need us. And we actually do what we say we're going to do. So a key component of being a successful thought leader is having the people who are going to help us get things done.